The town of Everpine was known for its silent beauty, ancient trees that whispered with the wind, a lake that mirrored the sky, and a cemetery that sat quietly on a hill, where love stories, both ended and remembered, lay etched in stone. For Claire Bennett, that cemetery held her whole world, her husband, Nathan, who died 3 years ago in a car crash that left her widowed at 34. Once a vibrant florist with dreams of opening a wedding boutique, Claire had become a shadow, spending her days arranging sympathy bouquets and avoiding anything that even resembled happiness. Until one morning, a stranger walked into her flower shop, a man with a soft voice, distant eyes, and a single request: "Can you make something for someone who meant everything, but isn't here anymore?" He didn't say who. He didn't need to. Claire understood that language, the language of grief. His name was Elias Rowe. New to Everpine, Elias was renting the old lighthouse cottage at the edge of the lake. No one knew much about him, only that he had scars he never spoke of and an aversion to crowds, cameras, and questions. Rumors floated around: former soldier, runaway artist, a man who lost everything in a fire. The truth was buried, much like the pain behind his tired smile. Claire had no intention of falling in love again. Her heart was a graveyard, after all. But love has a strange way of blooming in places thought barren. And when Elias started showing up every week, always with a new bouquet request, always alone, always grieving, something began to stir in Claire, a flicker of curiosity, the echo of a heartbeat. But it wasn't just Elias' pain that drew her in. It was what he was hiding, and the haunting feeling that he wasn't just mourning someone lost, but running from something still alive. As their lives intertwine over flowers, loss, and unexpected confessions, Claire and Elias begin to unravel each other. But some truths were never meant to bloom, and some ghosts don't stay buried. From the moment Elias walked into Claire's shop, something unspoken passed between them, recognition not of familiarity, but of shared sorrow. They were strangers, yet their pain spoke the same language, and that's what made it dangerous. Claire is emotionally frozen. For 3 years, she has mastered survival through routine. Her flower shop has become a safe prison, and Nathan's memory is the guard she refuses to escape. To open her heart again would mean betraying the love she buried, and acknowledging that life can move on. Elias, on the other hand, is hiding more than just grief. His fiancée's death was never truly solved, and his award-winning photograph, the one he wishes he'd never taken, is the last image of her alive. He's not just mourning Lila's loss. He's haunted by guilt, because the moment she died, he was behind a lens, and not beside her. This unspoken guilt has made Elias believe he's undeserving of a second chance. He came to Everpine not to start over, but to disappear. Soon after Elias settles in town, someone breaks into his rented lighthouse cottage. Nothing is stolen, but a single photo frame is smashed, the one with Lila's picture. Later, anonymous letters begin appearing in his mailbox. Justice never dies. At first, Claire assumes it's the work of a nosy local, but the fear in Elias's eyes says otherwise. She begins to suspect there's more to his past, and Lila's death, than he's letting on. Still, even as doubt creeps in, so does affection. Elias makes her laugh again. He listens like he hears more than words. He shows up at her shop without buying flowers, just to help sweep the floor or make coffee. They grow close. Claire's late husband Nathan? He wasn't alone when he crashed that night. A woman was in the passenger seat, someone Claire never knew about until weeks after the funeral. The police labeled her just a friend, but doubt festered, and it never left. So now, 2 people who've lost the ones they loved are slowly falling for each other, while still haunted by the betrayals they never healed from. And just when it seems like they're starting to trust, a shocking truth surfaces. Elias's fiancée, Lila, may not have died in an accident, and Claire's husband may not have died completely innocent. After Elias begins frequenting the shop, Claire invites him to the local flower festival, something she used to attend with Nathan. She intends to go alone, but Elias surprises her by showing up, not as a date, but as a silent companion. It's here, while watching paper lanterns float across the lake, that Elias tells her about the day he lost Lila. Not the full story, just that he couldn't save her. Claire, without prying, reaches out and simply places a white peony in his hand. "This means forgiveness," she says softly. He looks at her for a long time before replying, "You know the color of grief." That night, they share a quiet meal, laughter breaks through, and something unspoken blooms. Weeks later, after a sudden storm damages Claire's shop, Elias shows up to help her rebuild. They spend 2 days together, repainting walls, repairing shelves, cooking meals. During a candlelit evening after a power outage, they dance, awkwardly at first, then intimately. It ends with a kiss. Tender, hesitant, but electric. The next morning, Elias is gone. No note, no explanation. When he returns days later, he tries to explain, "I've done things I can't undo. I don't want to ruin what's good in you." Claire slams the door in his face, but her heart breaks as it closes. Elias finally opens up fully. He confesses that Lila's death wasn't just a tragic loss, it was part of a larger humanitarian mission that went wrong. Elias had captured evidence that could have incriminated powerful figures involved in the mission's failure, but before he could publish, Lila was killed. He fled, not from guilt, but from fear. Claire is shaken, not because of what he tells her, but because she realizes the letter that arrived anonymously for Elias was typed using the same font and paper style as the unsigned letter she received after Nathan's crash. The one that told her about the other woman. Driven by doubt and a gut feeling, Claire starts digging through Nathan's old belongings. She finds a hidden flash drive containing email exchanges with a woman named Lila Monroe. The same name, the same woman. Claire's heart pounds. Her late husband had been in contact with Elias's fiancée. But why? The truth explodes like a firecracker. Nathan was part of the NGO that sponsored Lila's final mission. He was an internal auditor, tasked with cleaning up financial leaks in the operation. The car crash that killed him might not have been so random after all. Claire confronts Elias with the truth. He breaks down, overwhelmed not only by guilt but by the horrifying possibility that their pasts are more entangled than they ever imagined. "Maybe we were never supposed to meet," he says. "Maybe all we've done is reopen wounds." Claire nearly walks away. The pain is too deep, the betrayal too close. But then she finds a letter Elias wrote months ago, one he never sent. In it, he writes, "If I ever find someone who makes silence feel safe again, who makes me want to photograph color instead of tragedy, I'll know Lila didn't die for nothing." Claire realizes, love doesn't erase the past, it redeems it. After discovering the link between Nathan and Lila, Claire spirals, caught between the raw grief of reliving her husband's betrayal and the delicate hope Elias stirred in her heart. She shuts down the shop temporarily and isolates herself. For a week, she doesn't return Elias's messages. Elias, meanwhile, revisits his own guilt. He begins developing the film rolls he's kept locked away, one by one, facing the memories he's avoided. Through tear-stained negatives, he confronts Lila's final days, their smiles, their plans, and the darkness he let consume him. He then does something unimaginable. He sends the photographs to a global press agency anonymously. In doing so, he exposes the truth behind Lila's death, and indirectly, Nathan's role in covering it up. Claire receives the news and watches the broadcast alone. Elias' photographs flood the screen. Her heart breaks, not because she's hurt, but because she finally sees the man Elias really is, brave, wounded, and determined to honor what was lost, even if it costs him the future he hopes for. Claire reopens the shop and begins designing a new floral collection, one symbolizing healing. She names it after the storm. Each bouquet represents a stage of grief and the possibility of hope. Elias returns to town just as the collection launches. He doesn't expect to be forgiven. He only wants to see her smile one last time. When he walks into Bennett Blossoms, she's waiting behind the counter, holding a bouquet of red tulips, a declaration of love. She tells him, "I thought I had nothing left after Nathan, and then I met you, and you made the silence hurt less." He replies, "I wasn't running from my past. I just hadn't found the reason to stop, until you." They embrace, both finally allowing themselves to feel fully, not through grief or guilt, but love. Just as things begin to settle, Elias receives a letter postmarked from abroad. It's unsigned, but inside is a single photograph. It's of Claire's flower shop, taken months ago, from a distance. There's a note, "Some stories never stay buried. Be careful who you trust." Instead of fear, Elias chooses peace. He burns the letter and photograph, and deletes the threatening messages. For the first time in years, he chooses life over fear. 6 months later, Claire and Elias co-host a memorial event at the lake, inviting others who have experienced loss. Together, they plant a garden called Second Chances, filled with flowers symbolizing rebirth, love, and forgiveness. As they walk through it hand in hand, Claire turns to Elias and says, "I once thought love ended at the cemetery gates. But you showed me it blooms where we least expect it." And Elias replies, "You were never my second chance. You were my first true one." They kiss beneath the blooming arch of Claire's favorite flowers, white peonies and red tulips, and this time, it's not about forgetting the past, but growing from it. The title resonates because it instantly connects with a universal fear, losing love, and counters it with a profound hope, that healing and new beginnings are possible. It's emotionally charged yet simple, making it relatable to viewers who crave deep, character-driven romance.